This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about the stuff that you need to do as an online coach. Like, seriously, you need to.
3, 2, 1. Let's get saucy, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dammy.
Me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
All good, mate. All good. Not too much. The weather here is absolutely abysmal, as we talked about previously. Well, it's too hot, isn't it? It's too hot. You know what I mean?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
You say abysmal. I think of what's happening right now, which is rain.
Rain.
It's raining. Yeah.
Well, it's just here. It just needs to come down a couple of degrees. It's just getting to that point where let me just check my phone now. What is it on? It's like today. Actually, I noticed it was a little bit cooler going out and about. Yeah. So today it was 40 degrees highest. Tomorrow's 42. But it feels like, what does it feel like? It feels like 40. Yeah. Humidity isn't too bad. It feels like 40. It's currently 34. Actual temperature feels like 40 because of humidity. It's just getting a bit much now. You know, it's getting a bit much now.
Yeah, it's currently 23 here.
Oh, yeah.
Quite nice, isn't it?
Nice and cool.
Nice and cool. And we'll get all the way down to 16 in the evening. What, in the evening? At night? 2 a.m. We're all good. But yeah, it's just been fucking like raining. I think summer's over. I think we already had it, to be fair. We seem to have missed all of that gorgeous hot weather that was setting Europe alight.
Probably best you did miss it, to be fair, because there's no way the UK will be able to handle that.
The UK can't handle fires, no?
Can't handle anything, mate. Can't handle 30-degree heat. Just find it odd that a country that regularly has like freezing temperatures and hot temperatures, at least twice a year it happens, can't cope with it. Each time it happens. Each time.
Well, what I always find as well, it's quite funny. Obviously, like all the rain and stuff. Everybody who's British hates it and complains about the rain. Every international person who lives in England loves it and is always like, this is why we're here, because like we like having some rain. We don't get to see it that often, or like we like the weather here because it's like temperate. Like you can go outside. Like you're probably like feeling. So I've got a couple of clients that have come back from like Q8 and stuff, and they're like, it's like 50 degrees there. Stuff that. I was like, well, that's why I'm here. He was like, I just went outside in the rain yesterday because it was fantastic. And it was like, you're weird. Yeah, I like ran for cover. So yeah, more of a sunny disposition for them. But yeah, what's been going on in your world, mate?
Not a lot, mate. I joined my new golf club tomorrow.
Woo! Yay!
So,
that's to be honest, I'm more excited for me than you. But that means
it was just nice to be able to. It was nice to be able to. So I went onto the app that we've got to kind of book the things, and I usually always only booking the same course all the time. And I had 5 options available to me because I've joined it, and they've got 2 courses at the one I'm at. They've got access to another course somewhere else, another course somewhere else, and I was like, oh my god, this is nice. I have the ability to choose and the freedom, but not only that, I didn't have to fight to get like the first few tee times. There's loads of spaces available. Like So I mean, I could just be the weather because it's the summer as well, to be fair. But it's it's nice. I'm playing on the course that Rory McIlroy's won on, John Rahm's won on it. I'll be playing there as my regular course now on a daily basis. So that's pretty cool.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what's been going on. I heard you hacked your way around a golf course as well.
So, I did. When everybody knows it was Hindhead. The first time I played it was fun. It was good. It was beautiful. That's all I can say. My golf was indifferent, but mainly because it's a course that I've never played before. So I'm sure I'll shoot about 6 to 8 shots lower next time. Mainly because I won't like hack it around in some heather and spend about 3-4 shots getting out of a bunker on one of the holes. So that's always good. Par five, 2 shots into the greenside bunker. Lovely job. Thought I'd just flop it out, take my either birdie or par. Off we go. 1, 2. It was, and what was even worse because it was on a downslope. So anybody who knows this is golf chat, everybody's tuned out now, on a downslope, and it wasn't really buried, but it was kind of like solidish like sand. So on a downslope, trying to get the ball up quickly is quite hard to do. And then what happened? It hit the lip and then came back and went straight into the hole that I just dug with my my wedge. And then I did that again. I was like, brilliant. And then I just went out to the side. I was like, no, I'm done. I was like, I'll just go that way. There was
that's a round killer, that, isn't it?
I feel like I need to bring you because because there's a few like holes where it's literally like I had to go up about, I don't know, 10 yards in the air off like a flop, because if I just missed, because there's lots of ridges and like dunes and stuff, which are just like, it's crazy, like around Beacon Hill. It's good fun. It's good fun. It's like an inland kind of linksy thing, and with like lots of heather and stuff like that. Stuff that you'll hate and you'll get really annoyed that you're in. But yeah. You're like, where's this open desert that I want to see so I can find my ball? And I'm just like, nope, that's gone, mate. You're not getting that back. It's all lots of deer though, and lots of animals and stuff, which is fun.
Well, that's all good.
Running around. It was good. But yeah, all good, all fun. Obviously in August is quieter for personal training, but as Dan would say, so if you're a personal trainer, this is the time that people are making their decisions to who to sign up with in September. So keep grinding.
Well, people are still watching. They may not, like I said, they may not be reaching out right now, but they are. They're definitely watching. They're making the decisions on who they like and who's turning up at this time point. You know, that sort of good stuff. So it's definitely worth thinking about.
Correct. Yeah. Less business chat today, though. I think we were business heavy last week, weren't we? We're going to moan about some training stuff. But the first thing we're going to do, Dan, is I feel like we just might cut this bit and just have a podcast itself. Is I think we need to talk about sauces. Okay, so I ordered these. This is Dan's like, this is no idea what's happening. So these are like curry ketchups. Obviously, I've started putting this on YouTube now, so this is people can actually see this. Go over to YouTube if you're listening. I can't do it that way. There we go. So these are like Gerwurz curry ketchup. This is the delicate. No, this is the delicate. I can't work out the camera. So we've got the delicate one, apparently. I don't really know what that means. It's all in German, so I don't really know what's happening. It's got Unser Milzüblicher Güritz. Yeah, I don't know.
That's really,
it's really
German,
nice.
Tom.
Thank you.
They look like the sort of ketchup bottles you'd find in a kebab shop.
Yeah, but they're curry ketchup. So I believe one's more spicy than the other. But I've had them before, and they're so good. The curry
Where'd
ketchup
you get them
from? Amazon.
Right.
Hella, and there's some other spicy ones as well, which got me thinking as well. And then about sauces, because I feel like if I get to the point where I'm done with fitness or I want another side project, I want to open a restaurant which just has all of the different sauces in the world. It will just be like burgers and wings and like stuff like that, like pretty standard food. Good, obviously, but then I'd have all of the sauces from the world, kind of like the Serial Killer Cafe, but like just for sauce. So you can have any sauce you like, and you can like have some curry, or maybe we just do a fries shop. No, but you have different, because that's the thing. There's different sauces you put on different foods, right? Obviously, I'm not. Yeah. This I feel like goes on pretty much most things, but I'm probably not going to put it on a burger. I'm probably going to dip random shit in it,
or a bacon sandwich.
A bacon sandwich, or I'm gonna do like chicken nuggets or like a hot dog or something like that. I don't think it's a burger based material, but obviously ketchup, burger, wonderful. Yeah, we do that. And much like barbecue sauce, it's not a sauce that you're gonna dip your fries in. If you are a bit weird. But then there's the other side of it of like what other sauces we got, like sriracha and all this kind of stuff. And what lives, I want it to just be like, what could we devise like a top 10 of sauces? I feel that's definitely something we can do, but I don't know what is in Dan's pantry and what would you prefer to have more of, I think is another thing as well. Because I think there's always like, I run out of that, or I'd love to have lots of that in the house. Is there a go-to sauce?
The thing with sauces, I could list some now that are popular and common, but there's always going to be the outliers that you forget about, that someone's going to say, oh yeah, that's pretty good, or that's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's tough to think of it on the spot. Like, if you'd give me some prep time, probably could have looked at some stuff. But one that I was never ever big on, that everyone used to fucking love and rave about, was sweet chili sauce. Never really that big on that. I've got
sweet chili. Yeah, I should probably just go and get my sauce bottles.
Don't get me wrong, like it's okay. Don't get me wrong, like it's fine. It's just not like at the time it was like people were raving about it, like proper raving. I just don't really think it's that good.
I think it was a time. So I don't know if it was the case of we worked in football at similar times, And sweet chili sauce was massive then, I swear, because all the football players just used to, because they pretty much fucking had couscous most days. So they just flavor up the couscous with sweet chili sauce, which I always found quite funny that the nutritionists were quite particular about what they're having at certain other times. Yeah, they just douse it in fucking like high calorie, like sweet chili sauce. I was like, that's okay. That's fine, is it? Okay, good. It's always quite funny. But sweet chili sauce, I can get you. Yeah, it's kind of like there or thereabouts, but also it's the go-to for Jamie Oliver. Like Jamie Oliver crowd like that kind of stuff because he's like, oh, it's a bit of spice, and like it's not spicy whatsoever.
No,
it's like the English drinking is spicy. No, it's just sweet. But
that's why people used to like it because it was sweet, not because it was spicy.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like pick 5 then, Dan. I feel like you. All right, I'm gonna go, but then you've got some like thinking time and stuff like that. So there's stuff that sits in my pantry. Of course, all the time. Obviously, ketchup. Are you particular on brands? Because there's a lot of people like, it's only Heinz, I watched a very interesting TV show yesterday, and like, it's all in the literally everything's made in the same fucking factories. Everything. Literally. Yeah. It's just madness. And it's just like, yeah, you know that brand? Actually owned by them. And they just have 4 or 5 tiers of different products. That's it. Basically all the same. They just sell it to you. Yeah. It was quite funny. We were like, all right, fucking hell. Like in laundry detergents, for example, like they're all owned by like 2 companies, all of them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, we just make different ones and it's all the same. Like, all right.
This one smells a bit different to that one. Cool.
Yeah, that's literally it. We've decided to do 1 gram more of this crap in this ingredients than this one. And that's the quality. You're like, what? And people fall? Yep, people fall for this. Okay, good. Wonderful.
Mad what marketing can do, isn't it?
I know, it's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. They're like, it's the same thing, but yeah. I was like, what was it? It was like, because obviously all of Aldi's stuff or like the home brand stuff, it'd be like, oh, the Jammy Dodgers and stuff like that. They're like, this is Aldi's Jammy Dodgers for 53p, and then actual Jammy Dodgers, they're made in the same factory and the same products and same ingredients. And they were like, yeah, there's no difference. You just buy that. Just buy that one. Doesn't matter. It tastes the same. They're like, yeah. Or like it'll be like the Maryland cookies. They did exactly the same as well. Same product, same ingredient lists. They just might be maybe it's something like 2 to 3 more like chocolate chunks in a Maryland cookie compared to the Aldi own brand. But they're both in the same factory, both made by the same people. Fucking crazy. And I was like, all right, okay. Don't spend £1.50 on a Maryland cookies when you get 53p for the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
mental. But it's the shiny wrapper, isn't it? Shiny wrapper syndrome kind of thing.
This is what people think. I see. This is what people.
Yeah. But anyway, sauces. Obviously, ketchup's going to be there. That's always in the pantry. So I have to put sriracha in there because I do like putting. I eat a lot of like Asian food, and sriracha's lovely. But I'm not going to go with sriracha mayo. I do like that, but in my top 5, am I going to have it as one of my sauces?
Well, no, you just have sriracha and you have mayo, and then you mix them together.
I don't think I'm going to have mayo.
You wouldn't have mayo. Maybe mayo would be my number one.
Not in my top 5, no.
Easy. Mayo's straight in there.
I'm going to have the Nando's mayo. Is the one that I normally buy. What is it?
You could have mayo and sriracha and it'd be the same thing. Like, ridiculous. Tom's stupid. Mine would. I'm really basic.
Perinese. That's the one I want.
Perinese, yeah. I'm real basic. I'd have ketchup, mayo.
I mean, you could have just stopped there. I'm real basic. Move on.
Next my staples. Like, they're obviously going to be there.
Mayo's not going to make it for me. I'm going to have the nuance of mayo. Yeah.
All right, go on then. Keep going with yours.
All right. Well, now I'm gonna go. So I've had this. Obviously, I'm not going in blind and buying 800ml bottles of curry ketchup. I think that's a bit bold. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do that, especially for like they were between like 8 and 12 quid a fucking bottle. I feel like that's a lot. Is that a lot?
That is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. For a bottle of what is just sauce. So yeah, am I going to have that? I think I'm going to put that in there. Because I would want McDonald's sweet curry sauce. I like that. But I think I like this more. So I'm having ketchup, Perinese, sriracha. I'm going to go curry ketchup. And then I think I'm just going to go for some sort of hickory kind of smoked based barbecue. I think, and these are, but it's interesting because these are all like they're not very oriental as well. So there's like hoisin and all of that kind of stuff. That you go over that side. I hate fish sauce, all that kind of shit. Not a big fan. I realize it sits in a lot of other sauces, but it's not like, because there's Worcester sauce and all that kind of stuff. That's not the same, right? That goes in. That's not a condiment sauce. Those are two different things. They make other sauces. You don't just put Worcester sauce on shit, apart from cheese on toast.
Yeah, I've realized I really don't have any strong feelings about sauces. I just don't care enough.
Wow.
Soy sauce, that has to be in there.
Soy sauce, okay, yeah, sure. Because that's the because you want to hit like other tastes as well, right? Because that's the umami, like, so that's a good thing. I haven't got really any umami in there.
Yeah,
if you're thinking about that.
So I'd have ketchup, mayo, soy sauce. I'd probably have, again, really fucking boring, like American mustard would be in there.
Oh, mustard, I forgot about. So
yeah, you see.
So we
yours
go
are all samey. Yours are all very samey. Yours are very
That's
sweet.
what I'm thinking now.
They're very kind of like ketchup based, vinegar based, you know. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about
do I take out ketchup? Do I take out ketchup and keep the curry ketchup and then put in
No, take out the curry ketchup. That's mental.
Or do I take out Peronaise?
I
love barbecue sauce. It's great.
I think you've gone too specific on some of yours. Put it that way. You've not thought about this. So yeah, there'd be the 4. Then I'd probably have, what would I have? I'd probably have sriracha as well. That would be my one. I do like that mixed with a bit of mayo. Sriracha is good. So yeah, that's my 5. Boring, basic bitch, boring.
Yeah, but easy to find as well. You'll be like, oh, I grabbed them that. They're always going to be there. Curry ketchup and hickory fucking barbecue, not always going to be in places. I think Peronaise. I've got like subsections of main ones, is what I like. A little bit niche.
Nice.
I am a proclaimed foodie, so that's I think I'll just dip shit in stuff because I think as I go through, like obviously Peronaise chicken, put chicken in there. The curry sauce is like chicken and ketchup, not dip ketchup in curry sauce. The ketchup curry sauce, whatever it is, and then hot dogs and stuff. Barbecue is like ribs and stuff like that. I don't really like it on burgers. I think it's a bit weird. I'm always going to be like but then I can't fucking have I can't have mustard on my burger, on my hot dog, because I haven't got mustard in my top 5.
You shot yourself in the foot there, Tom, I think, to be honest. I think you've not considered all angles. And luckily for you, it's not a real problem you're going to have.
That's why I need 10. I need a definitive 10 list. In condiment aisle. It's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. Condiment
They're one of the best things that you can do for working out which condiments you like or not is go on a diet and get very lean. I remember when I was just eating chicken and veg all the time, it was I used to fucking blather all the sauce all over it. So yeah, it's always a good way of doing it. Find out which ones you enjoyed then.
Yeah. I did buy because when I've lost weight sporadically, or attempted to for those 2 weeks. I bought some like the skinny sauce company stuff. Not good.
No, they're awful.
It's like 0% whatever. Or 0%? It's not got alcohol in it. 0 calorie like sauces. They're not great. They tend to be very watery and a bit like bleh. Odd. Do that. Your tongue kind of comes out your mouth kind of things. Anyway, yeah. I thought you'd have stronger feelings.
Not really.
You're a surprising boy. Yeah, you have very strong feelings about certain things, but just no.
Others not as much, yeah.
Others not so much. Considering I would be like, you do like food, but I don't know whether you like weird food. That's the thing.
I don't like weird food, no. I just don't sit there and think about my top 5 sauces because I don't have to pick 5. So
not like we've ever done that kind of thing on like celebrations.
Cereal, however.
Or
cereals. I mean, I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. But there's another side. I feel like we could do a show on every aisle of the supermarket, in theory. Dan doesn't shut up about his top 5 rices. Ever since he moved to Dubai, all over it. Uncle Ben's, that's what they eat out there, isn't it? Lots of Uncle Ben's.
Oh yeah, that's
can't move for it.
Yeah.
Can't move for it. Jesus. All right. What are we meant to be talking about? Fitness. All right. So I think we're going to talk about some training stuff that's come out ish, not come out, but obviously it's happened. I sent it to Dan today that we've seen today. So I sent you one by Scar performance. I quite like his stuff. He knows his niche well. He's a former Division 1 footballer, I think. Then got injured, then started coaching. Doing all right.
Soccer player,
Division 1 soccer. Yeah, but he did a little thing on obviously, because I've done one before when Robert Lewandowski went to Barcelona, and that got shit stained, didn't it? Obviously, I got called out because what do I know about it? They were like, "Oh, it's terrible." But but they've repeated themselves, haven't they? Barcelona have, and is it the Spanish league? Is it Spanish S&C? If you're a Spanish S&C coach, get in touch with me.
It is.
Like,
it is definitely
the fuck's going on there?
It is, 100%.
Like, why? Because obviously, what was the one that went viral when we were like in football or around there? Was it Atletico?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was Atletico Madrid, wasn't it? And there was like jump on this trampoline like 4 times and then do a diving header over a pole or something like that. It was fucking bonkers. And then like knee bend squats and stuff like that, which is fine. There is a plausibility for knee bend squats, but not how they were doing it. They weren't like bouncy squats, hoping for patella tendon kind of elastin, like legitimate reason to do shit like that. But I don't think that was what they were doing. So yeah, what did you see, Daniel, on that one? Then there's also another one that's come out with Benzema and Kante doing some fun stuff in Saudi, but we'll talk about that in a second.
The best bit was the chest pass bouncing off this like trampoline net. They're like a medicine ball. They were chest passing it like they were a basketballer onto a net and catching it again. I literally couldn't work out why and how they were doing that for football and why it makes any relevance. Not goalkeepers. Do you know what I mean? I was like, what is going on with this? That confused the hell out of me for a start. And then the other one was they're putting one foot on a upside. Was it some sort of ball, Bosu ball thing? Yeah. Unstable service. 1 foot on there, then back again. 1 foot back again, and then they were doing it again, throwing it again, not kicking it. They were throwing it. Pretty sure they were throwing it. Everything was with their hands, and I was like, "You're footballers." I was like, "What are you doing?" Let me see if I can find it. You sent it to me, didn't you?
I sent it to you.
Tom Hall.
Yeah,
let me see. They were throwing it, chest pass again, medicine ball, whilst doing some stupid shit on a upside down Bosu ball, basically. I mean, they're using those crappy old, just everything in the background is just horrific. I just can't. Cannot watch it.
Obviously, they're using the classic Vipers for their
the Vipers. That's what I was looking at. The clean and press Vipers
for their clean and press. That was good.
Yeah,
I do like the the throwing the med ball or whatever ball into the net and it bouncing back at you. Can kind of think might be applicable for the goalkeeper, but because I'm sure you've done it in cricket, like you throw it into that little ball thing and it's like a reaction thing in the slips, right? Like that thing. That would, in theory, what it would be like off like a bouncing off the back of a footballer and you having to react and move, right?
Yeah.
But I do like I think what's better is just watching them in the background as well on the story, because you can see obviously the Viper, someone's doing like split stance pressing.
It's definitely the background is the best.
In the background's quite funny because they've got lots of cable stuff and like they're just getting pulled around by like Vipers and cables and not really knowing what they're doing. They're jostling as well. What are they doing with because this is definitely because they were doing the same thing on Kante and Benzema. We're doing the same thing. So in terms of reenaction, imagine you have both on a cable machine or like a bouncy cable, but you're doing like a pull back kind of thing. But then you're next to someone and then you're having to jostle for position whilst you do cable rows and jostling.
Stupid.
I don't overly understand why in any thing. It's just how
the thing is, they don't even think they do. I don't think they understand half of it.
Or the footballers or the coaches?
The coaches.
And like even the
you can see that from it.
Just looks
like it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
What they've done is they've picked a bunch of people who don't want to do heavy weights. So they're going, how can we train them? It's like, well, make them do heavy weights because they're being paid to. So if I can do it.
Yeah, this is your job. You need to do this. Like, like the little squat rows things.
There's still those like misconceptions it's going to make people slower or like not as powerful and all this crap.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think I did a story about it the other day, and I was just like, I'm still, even though I'm training for my triathlon, right? So all that kind of stuff, I'm still lifting heavy. I'm still trying to be powerful. I'm still trying to be resilient. There's just know that's going to be better for somebody. No matter what somebody throws at you, I'm going to be more resilient to handle the other like bits of the training. Because the whole point of sport specific training, I think Mike Boyle always said about it, it was just like 80% of it is the fucking same shit. Like 80% of S&C is the same. The 20% is like the nuance that you end up being specific. But these kind of coaches, even this, like they flip it and they think 80% of it has to be specific to the sport, and then 20% of it is just general. Like, okay, you're like, no, like don't stop trying to be like too clever. It's all going to look very, very similar, and then you're just going to have what I would deem as filler exercises that are going to be a little bit more specific. Cool, I might do for footballers more adductor work or more like change of direction stuff under load, because that's what they tend to do, or more explosive like one step like sprints and stuff like that. So one step power, because that's what differentiates Messi from anybody, because he is quickest over, I reckon, 3 meters, something like that. He is the quickest over that. He can change the direction better than anybody else. So let's do that. So it always will be the case. And it's, oh, mate, it's insane, isn't it? Like, but this is why good people in football leave.
Yeah.
More than likely.
100%.
Like, I got chatting to a lad who set up a private training facility up in like Liverpool way. He's master's degree, does awesome work, and then footballers are coming to him, but only a select few. It's still only like maybe 1 or 2 from different like places. And he used to be at like Man U and stuff like that. And I'm like, why'd you leave? It was like, because I wanted to train them how I want to train. Like, I was like, yeah, perfect. He knows they're going to come to him. So I think it's called KPI performance, so key performance indicator. Like, I was like, oh, cool name. Sub it up, just a facility and a factory, because you can do that up there, much like Americans do. I was like, just get space, get a couple of pros going in, absolutely fine. But yeah, that's why good people leave. Oh, it's crazy. Oh dear. And there's always like, I've like watching the comments, because obviously from the Scar performance, obviously he would have got more probably views reviewing this shit. It's always funny. And you get the people who are like, oh, why are you just being negative? Like, oh, you're obviously doing, if they work for a professional football team, they must know what they're doing. You clearly don't know what you're doing, all this kind of stuff. And you're like,
yeah,
oh, wow.
Same old, innit? Same old.
And he's like, why haven't you tagged their S&C coach?
I don't know who it is.
Don't know who he is. It's because he isn't bold enough to post everything on social media. It's absolutely fine.
Probably not. He's probably not an S&C coach, like the proper one, anyway. Based on that, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, and I love all the stuff. If done properly, battle ropes are good for endurance for boxing. Well, they're not boxing, number one. These are football players, so they do very little with their hands. But okay, you know what would be really good for endurance for boxing? Boxing,
yeah.
Just putting it out there. Just putting probably doing even that silly shadow boxing stuff. Probably more applicable, like I would say, than battle ropes. Always fun. But yeah, I think Kante and Benzema have done the same thing, which is one thing we can probably see from the Saudi thing, which I'm sure there's if somebody wants to move to Saudi, they probably can. I've heard it's not the most westernized place in the world, so it might be a culture shock for some people. But obviously they're spending a lot of money on players. Like, what's Jordan Henderson? Dan, your take on Jordan Henderson? Good that he's gone.
Oh yeah, no, he's amazing for Saudi football. He'll be the best player in the team by a mile.
The only reason why I say that, I'm picking out that player, because Dan, for as long as I've known you, has always picked out Jordan. It's one of your things, isn't it? It's definitely a marketing ploy. He always will have a go 100%. At Jordan Henderson. No matter what he does. Jordan Henderson could buy a new car and he'd be like, fucking hell, like that shit.
It's just like bait. It's just like it gets so much engagement from people. People just love sticking up for him, and it's like they don't seem to think that I actually don't care about him. I don't have a preference either way. It just got to a point where it's quite funny to point out the fact that I just think he's not the best footballer in the world yet for some reason. Paid £700,000 a week now to play football, which is just
he's a nice guy. He wears rainbow laces in his shoes.
He used to.
We'll see if he still does. I bet he doesn't.
I just think it's like that whole thing is just mental. Like, it's just mental. But there you go.
It is crazy. But yeah, obviously we've seen that they bought a lot of good players, but what they probably haven't done is it'd be like a influencer starting up their online coaching business, but they haven't got any systems involved in place to take on any clients whatsoever. So they're going to be scrambling. They can't take on 10 clients this week because they don't realize they don't have an online coaching platform. They don't have anything to put there. They don't have workouts set up. They can't send them anything. They don't have Google Docs. They don't have an onboarding system. Basically, what's going to happen in Saudi, I would presume that maybe the training behind the scenes isn't too fantastic. I'd imagine, especially from some of these players. Let's probably say that Liverpool, some of Chelsea's stuff is good, not all of it. The private stuff's pretty bad, isn't it? And then the probably some of Liverpool's and stuff like that is probably okay. Let's say that it's probably pretty good. But going into maybe Saudi, they probably haven't spent as much on bringing the really good S&C coaches in. I will do it from here if they need me to do Zoom sessions. That'd be absolutely fine. I'll quite happily do that. So, or fly me in and out for like monthly. That'd be all right.
Yeah,
I'll do that. Yeah. Only $100,000. Only
cheaper than probably what they're paying for some of the people they've got.
Exactly. So, I'll keep them fit. Like, who's more important than the player? The person who keeps the player fit. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like you said, over there's going to be problems. It'll be maybe to do with the training methods, again, the training performance, the intensity is not going to be as high, that kind of thing. I think it's going to be that standard thing. I think, like I said to you before we hit record, I think it's going to be like the MLS. I think they all thought they're going to bring all these players over and it's going to change the way it's run and done, and it's like, nah, it's not at all.
And then you realize Carlos Vela is going to be the MVP for 5 seasons. So yeah.
I just can't see it taking off. I just can't see it happening, unfortunately. Or fortunately, unfortunately, it doesn't really make a difference to me. Yeah,
it still won't be, but the championship will still be more watched than
more than likely, yeah. Because as you know, in football, you can't buy 3 or 4 good players. It doesn't work like that. It's 11 people on a team, and I just think, well, let's see what happens. I mean, I'm sure the TV rights will be sold over here. I'm sure it'll be on Sky or something. So.
That is true. So I think we digress into more of the training because obviously I downloaded a bunch of resources and I found them quite funny. And probably Dan still probably lives in a world where he's more, even though he deletes a lot of stuff off his Instagram, because he doesn't want to follow any people he doesn't really enjoy anymore. And like talking about echo chambers and stuff like that. And I was talking to one of my students today, and he was like, "Tom, I've taken on these 2 new clients." I was like, "Fantastic," because we're such good at business development. So good at business, not such good at business.
Such good, yeah. He's such good at it.
When he was like, "Oh, I got them to send me the plans that they had been previously trying to do," and like one of these ladies was she was looking to lose weight, which is absolutely fine. And then she had a 5 to 6 day body part split. She's 57. Doesn't really matter. Age just a number. I still train every fucker the same. Same philosophies. And then, but 57 body part split, he was like, one of the days was just delts, like traps and like biceps. He was like, what's she doing? Like, that's madness. Like, why is she doing that? Like, absolute body part bro. She just wanted to lose some weight. And that was her training program. And I guess I still live in an echo chamber. Yeah, sure. Like, I presume we all get bored about what we talk about most, right? I'm getting bored about fucking talking about VBT and training like an athlete and stuff like that. But I'm still obviously going to keep doing it because this is what still probably the 80% of people do when they go in the gym. They think this is going to be the best for them to train for athletics, which still probably isn't, because they haven't developed enough muscle tissue to do stuff like that, or they're not training twice a day. And it's pointless, because if you do a body part split, you're only hitting that body part once per week. Fuck me. You can do it twice, 3 times maybe. Like, And people are like, oh, I'm not training legs 3 times a week. Yeah, that's why you're puny fucking legs. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why
I still get that regularly from people. Like, oh, I can't do legs more than twice a week. I'm like, you walk on them, don't you?
Like,
what do you think these footballers are doing when they're sprinting and running around? Like, you can recover. You're just, the reason that you find it hard is because you've never stuck it out longer than a week.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be why. Yeah, it's just still baffles me. Like, I think as you said, our training principles develop as we go through life and as we go through these things. And I think that the majority of good trainers I know all seem to come towards the same conclusion, which is that the majority of people should just be training full body more regularly, and that's that. It's like, and actually, the shorter the session, the better, and actually, the more things that you cover over a week rather than in one session, the better. You know, it's that whole thing of you start off when you're younger doing all the bodybuilding style stuff, and you do all that. I think it's just because it's the easiest, most accessible way, because you ask the big guy in the gym or you get a magazine, and it's just what's accessible, it's what sells. And then as you get into it, you realize, oh, actually, it's not actually that great. It's not actually doing that much for me. And then I think you just naturally develop into what we would recommend as good training.
Yeah. Because I reckon, they're probably the biggest guy in the gym may have been using something else if they're in there for that long. Or they're literally training for 2-3 hours, or they're in there for that long. And if you're committing that much time, then fair enough. That's fine. If that's your thing, that's fine. But it's probably not going to be the best for you in terms of all other aspects of health. And I'd say 99% of the people don't want to spend 2 hours in the gym. Probably not. Like, hard push, like 55 minutes is probably good, I reckon. Just enough. 45 to, I can sometimes do like a 75-minute session, but I have to be into it and like doing stuff. Sometimes I'll write that in for some people, but that'll be on the predicated that they're doing some like heavy stuff, or I've got them doing some, like, it's normally squat stuff or deadlift stuff that takes a longer amount of time. So they've actually got bigger rest periods. I use that term loosely as well, because the rest periods is they're still doing things. What? I think obviously when we had Holly on the show, and she was like, yeah, like she never superset stuff ever. And I'm like, I don't ever just write one exercise ever. I don't think I have done that ever for at least 5 years. Because I just think that resting time could be, it's in my brain, is a waste of time. Because whilst one thing's like my legs aren't moving, while like are chilling out when I'm sitting down. So why can't I do something seated or lying on the ground or doing like that? Yeah, there's still going to be some sort of CNS effect, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm not trying to get that muscle fiber of my triceps slightly thicker. No, I'm not too fast.
Yeah, and also the whole like CNS argument, I've seen that before from people. I'm like, you do realize if you're training 3 times a week for an hour, it really has loads of time to recover. Like,
yeah, it's
you
like
get major burnt out from it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Trust me, it's like the CNS argument happens in powerlifters when they're doing heavy loads a lot. Like that's, I remember, like I used to be able to be like, I'm going to be sick just before my deload week. I'm going to end up being ill because I just I know I'd like, that was probably the most time I was most frequently ill, because my CNS was bad because you couldn't recover properly because of the loads you're lifting. So it's just beat up. But other than that, I don't want to be sick. Hey, train to 80%. Fucking hell. Get most shit done. But yeah, Dan. So if you want to explain to me, obviously I've flicked through some post some training programs. What is a male over 40s program?
It's probably going to start with 10 minutes on the bike, because if you're over 40, you've got to make sure you do that. That's what all over 40 do.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd imagine if it's male, it's got to be chest and arms. More,
of course,
chest and arms. And I guess if you're over 40, it probably means maybe not so much dumbbell bench press, maybe more chest press machine, because it's safer. Maybe that's the thing. Oh, fuck knows, mate. Fuck knows. What is it? You get a free round of golf with every gym session. Something like that.
Yeah. Free round of golf. Like, I don't. What's the cusp? 39. No, can't do this program. You're far too fit. Should it not be predicated on like probably experience? So 40 years old is like just general male as well, because obviously I sounded very woke in the pre-recorded when I was showing Dan these. And I was just like, why is this a female booty builder program?
Yeah,
just a booty builder.
Tom wants the guys to be able to build their boots, all the days, all
exactly.
The
I'm about like equality and anybody like, and I was like, I did catch myself. I was like, I sound very woke. But yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just you just prioritize for a goal. That's it. It's not male. It's not female. It's not anything like that. It's fine. The only difference happens in the session, like the mechanics of whatever you're doing. Like all females can do all of this 40-year-old male session if they want to. They can achieve them. Like the only reason why you write on something that they would not be able to do.
What Tom means is that good training programs don't need to be labeled in that way. That's what Tom means. Tom just means these aren't the best training programs in the world, so therefore that's why. Because women wouldn't do a chest day, for example, which I'm sure is
maybe don't. Just don't. Just like it's fine. Just annoys me.
Don't like it, does he, Tom? It's good job Tom's getting back into education, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So you can educate the masses and help them with this stuff.
Again, it just annoys. And like tempo written on programs annoys me. Obviously,
that annoys me because it's useless. It's a pile of shit. I've never had that on any program. That's one thing that ever since we started, I've never had that on my programs. I just don't believe it ever worked. I don't get it. Like anyone's going to pay any attention to that. Just say control the way down and explode on the way up. Like literally, that's all you need to worry about. If you want to go to that extreme, you don't even need to worry about that. Really. No. Like if you're going to pause in a certain position at the bottom, just say pause at the bottom.
Just say that. Don't like literally
0 or 10 or whatever the fuck 0 is going to be.
Just write 2-second pause at the bottom.
Yeah, literally.
That's it. Just write that out, please. 2 secs at the bottom. Or you'd be like ISO. All right, I'm probably going to have to hold here. A push up hold. I wonder where I'm holding. And you're like, okay. Instead of writing 3, obviously the normal one is 3010. I never quite understood, like, it's like obviously the 0.
3 seconds down, no pause, then 1 second
pause
up.
At the bottom, 1 second up, and then no pause. So you're kind of always constantly moving, which doesn't really rarely happens. If we're really honest, like you are always going to pause in lockout, no matter who you are. Always somebody, like, because that's a comfortable position to be in whilst you like re-engage and like go for it. It's really rarely that you don't, like, unless you're like.
They used to have like, I used to remember you used to have 1 second for the concentric or an X, which was as powerful as possible, and I was always like, well, that's the same thing. What happens if you move as powerfully as possible, but it takes 3 seconds? Like it's still you moving as powerfully as possible. Like that happens regularly. I'm like, so what did you do then? I just didn't. And the part of the reason I didn't like it was a Charles Poliquin thing, wasn't it? That he used to love. He used to really bang on about it, and obviously it was, his plans were very much bodybuilder style. So
just really, it's just confusing. I think if you gave this program to someone and they like read that little code, they'd be like, don't know what that means. It's fine. At least in these programs, there's like there's different sets, like 4 sets, 3 sets, 2 sets, which I'm fine with. So that's good. 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 30 seconds. All crazy amount of. So if anybody wants to know, like on my programs, right, I have a little key for resting. So for tempo, exactly what Dan said. You probably seen my post enough. Move the fucking concentrically thing as fast as you can. Okay. Nobody wants that to be prolonged. I'm trying to get more engagement from muscle groups and surrounding structures. I'm trying to be stronger. Cool. Eccentric phase will probably be controlled if it's not written purposely. So I purposely might write a 5-6 second eccentric phase. Cool. But that'll be with a video because I want some, and I will literally say, put your phone in front of you and put a timer on. Watch it. I want you. There's a whole point to that. I very rarely write a 3-second pause or 3-second thing because no one fucking does it. Like 3 seconds doesn't happen. That's why I have to go way past it to like 5 seconds because that's an actual length of time, which is horrible. Okay. 3 seconds. No, if you do 3 seconds, you're probably only doing 1.5, guaranteed. If I write 5 seconds, they're going to prolong it and like, oh, Tom's actually meaning business here. They'll probably do 3-4 seconds. Okay. And then I'm getting the training effect I want. Anyway, obviously I write sets. Obviously I write reps. And resting periods. I literally write this. So on every single like start of the workout, it will just be a key, and it will be like if it's a triplet exercise, there's no rest. You just go boom, 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 boom. Doesn't matter. Like you're just cruising through because when you're doing the other exercises, those other muscle groups are resting, so it's fine. If you're needed rest. So maybe power exercises or supersets, then based off the number of reps you've done accumulatively from those both exercises will be what you rest for. So, and it will generally be between 45 seconds to 60 seconds or 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Not much anywhere in between. But I normally just write, go when you want. If I'm really honest. And like,
I get that
if
regularly.
you
Like, why is there no rest periods? I'm like, because you'll know when you're ready to go again.
If you're in a rush and you feel like shit, just crack on. Like, do a slightly less rate, and like, if your weights don't go up, I'll ask. All right, this doesn't seem to have moved over the last few weeks. Have you been resting? Nah. All right, well, shove it a rest this week. I want you to hit this number. All right, cool. Let's do this. Yeah. So, that's what tends to happen. It's just, it's again, it's like the coaching thing. If I don't want to give them all, it's the minimal effective fucking dosage again, isn't it? We go back to that. I want to give as minimal information as possible to give the maximum return. I want as little confusion as possible. And I'm just like, this many reps, this many, just do this. Unless I tell you any different, do this. Anyway,
that's straightforward.
But it's pretty straightforward. But I'm gonna be off doing my decline gar hammer raises soon. So
what are they?
I don't know. It's written in this one then, so I don't know what that is. But it's interesting. The female pull-up specialization program.
Do more pull-ups, probably.
No. Only for females, though.
Yeah, not guys. It wouldn't work on guys.
The guys can already do pull-ups. So that's what happens.
There you go. It's a crazy world, isn't it?
It's a crazy world we live in. Just like, obviously, we said it before, that we surround yourself with good people, and then you end up seeing their work, and you're like, oh, great. And then you dip your toe out, like just watching, like, oh, shit, what's happening there? So it's obviously still, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably one of the people that we like. Surround ourselves. Or you're into our kind of training, or you kind of have similar principles to us. But there still is a world out there. So for every second that you don't fucking post or take on a client, there's somebody who, like one of my clients, just taken on. They then have a bad experience with an online coach, and they were apprehensive with signing up with him because they thought they were going to get similar experience to what that shit and programming is. So it's why it's like you said, right? Every second we don't shout the loudest, they're going to get shit experience with fitness, shit experience with coaching, and they won't sign up with you because of that other person who's done them the disservice. The influencer that looks like they've got 30,000 followers. They should be making a shit ton of money, but they actually have only got 8 clients because they're training systems and they can't train anybody or coach. You need to get to them first.
Correct.
Yeah, Dan.
That's straightforward. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. It's like, and it's also why I think is what people need to make themselves quite unique in a way. Like we just talked about there with your own training plans, stuff like that. I'm not saying obviously call them male, female, but talk about that stuff. If you feel strongly against that, like come up with your own system. Well, what do you do? How do you do things? And not enough people are talking about those sorts of things. Me and Mike talked about this in our members group. We were saying how like no one's sharing their journey, their views, their opinions. Really, no one's talking about that stuff. They're just going, "Oh, do this to lose weight." No,
exactly.
Or do this to transform your.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like do this to transform your life. What are you doing? Well, I'm doing my own journey. This is what I do. This is how I transform things. This is how I train. This is how I get my clients to train, and like practice what you preach a bit, and show the world that you're not just doing 3x10 on everything, and that you're not just doing all the bodybuilding shit 'cause it's boring, because that will attract people that are bodybuilders, and that's not who you work with. Well, then you're gonna have a hard time attracting people because they are put off by bodybuilders. So it's just, again, it's this whole thing of just being unique around it, like me and Mike do with our own. With our coaching now that we do, you know, if you're listening to this, you know, and you follow any of the mentors, you know that what we do is different, and you know how it's different because we fucking talk about it enough. Like, you know roughly how it's different. You might not know the intricacies and the in-depth bits on what it's like on the inside, but you'll know roughly like why it's different and what's different about it and what we're not going to get you to do and what we are going to get you to do. Like, do your clients know that about your training when they sign up with you? Do they know that they're not going to be doing barbell curls for whatever reason, or chest press machine for whatever reason? Do they know they're not going to do burpees? Do they know like what they should know? Half this stuff. The amount of times that I used to get a new training assessment from someone, and I'd put on there, I basically go for a full training assessment. There was loads of questions all about the training equipment they've got, that sort of stuff. And then I used to put anything that you definitely don't want me to program for you. And the amount of people that would put burpees, lol, but I know you won't put them in anyway. Exactly. I would say good, like 2 in 10 people, 1 in 5 people would have said something like that. Something like that. They would have said in their assessment, I know you're not going to make me do that anyway, or they put it in as a joke every time. And it's like, because they know, because they follow me, because we talk about it enough. And I think like Tom talks about it enough. You know, when you sign up with Tom, you're not going to get 3x10 flat bench press probably every week for 12 weeks in a row. You're just not going to get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that straight off the bat. Yeah, they are now. You know, you're doing some power-based stuff, some VBT stuff. You know what you're going to get. You know, you're doing some plyometrics, right? You just know it. You just know it.
I've taken on some like self-confessed bodybuilder physique athletes in the last like couple of months, right? And I was like, why the fuck do you want to sign up with me? Like, I don't believe in any of your shit. And they're like, I just want to
change the board.
They want to, they were just like bored. Like, your stuff looks fun. I'm like, cool. Like, as long as you know I'm not going to adhere to everything you want, because you're going to come back at me and go, oh, I need to do more of this. I do need to move this. I'm like, yeah, fine, cool. But you're doing 90% of my shit and I'll give you 10%. Like, off you go. It's always a collaborative effect, but I'm like, all right, we're doing this because of this, because I think you need to do this. Is that okay? And usually it's a case of, if I take on a female, it's a case of they've done so much fucking glute work, and then so there's probably 2 or 3 people I'm thinking about, right? That they've done so much glute focus work, because that's obviously a big thing in female composition, stuff like that. And I massively reduced the volume on their glute focus. I haven't reduced the volume total in terms of how much they train. I've just reduced the volume to try and bring other shit up. Like, because I'm like, these are really, really, really fucking strong. You're hip thrusting way more than I can do, and I'm reasonably strong, but you can't fucking squat and do other stuff for shit. I'm like, this is so imbalanced. It might not lead to an injury, just spitting here, but the chance of it leading to an injury based off imbalance are probably higher. So I'm like, I'd rather you keep on training to do all this other stuff that you like doing outside. So yeah, it has been interesting as well. Yeah, so trying to change people's minds, because there's quite a few people that come to me who are just bored of their own coaching, bored of their own training, or bored of bodybuilding, and that tends to be, and they're just like, I'm just looking for change more than anything else. I've decided that this isn't for me anymore. I'm not having fun anymore. I'm not enjoying training, like all this kind of stuff. I'm like, cool, because it is boring, isn't it? Like, just doing the 40-year-old workout programs. So it's boring. But then I'm sure at some point they'll get bored of my shit. It's absolutely fine. They'll go try something else. They'll go CrossFit. They'll go do something. It's just a natural cycle of things, right? And that's why me and Dan, when me and you trained together for like 2 or 3 years, right? We went through a whole band of fucking shit that we were trying to do. I swear, but we were obsessed with Olympic lifting because we came out of strength and conditioning like for quite a long time. And then obviously we went down powerlifting routes, and you went down bodybuilding routes and stuff like that. I think we even tried to do some CrossFit based stuff, and then realized that our shoulders couldn't take it.
Did Wendler, didn't we? Did Wendler's thing? 5-3-1.
Did a bit of Wendler, exactly 5-3-1 stuff. We did
2x4,
2x4, ran a whole phase of that, or a couple of phases of that, and then always went back to 5-3-1 because it was more simple. But the ollie lifting was always funny, because we try and ollie lift on a Monday, and just dramatically fail. And I think we had too much volume. I'm sure on one of my iPads somewhere would be still our training programs, and it was had a lot of stuff in it. It'd be like Monday this, Tuesday this. You're like, fucking hell, we had a lot of time on our hands.
I was about to say, So those days, a bit more time on hand.
It was more like we're living in the gym. We're like, all right, we've got a 3-hour gap here. Might as well fill it with something. So, I remember that. Dan's trying to hit a 40-kilo snatch for about 7 months. I
got up to 80 in the end.
I think you hit bodyweight. Yeah, your bodyweight snatch.
Yeah, bodyweight snatch, and I hit 1.5 bodyweight clean.
The most embarrassing thing in my career of lifting was that for the longest time, Dan outbenched me all the time.
Yeah.
He hit 100. That's what like the gold ticket, right? It's like once you can, is it the 225 bench, right? Whatever it is. And like that's like, Dan hit it probably about 9 months before I did. I was like, fuck's sake. Yeah. It's crazy.
But then you flew past it, didn't you? I think my best bench, I don't know why, I can't remember exactly. I think it was 120. I think. Yeah. I used to do 110 for 3. So I think it would be 120. I mean, it's nowhere fucking near that. I can't even I do 80 for 8 reps, and I'm like, fuck me, I'm getting pinned.
Yeah, same.
It is mad how much you realize that it's like nervous system training, like with half that stuff. I
can always bench 100 for a few now, but it's just probably because I'm in the gym more than you, right? So I'll be like, I'll like have a practice rep or whatever. So it's always like a case of that. I will always want to be able to bench 100 for a few, squat 150 for a few, and pull 200 for a few. That's always like, no matter, don't lose that. And there will be a point which I do 100%. But yeah, I remember for 9 months you smashed your 100 kilo, and then I couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. And then I hit when I did hit it, I hit it for free. But it was absolutely it was mental block, yeah. But I spent about 9 months training my triceps, my lats, and my fucking like front delts. Doing everything. Board presses, little pause ones, speed press, banding speed press shit, banded presses. So just
times.
Yeah. It would have been a lot more. I would have got there a lot quicker now, let's say. Knowing what I know now. But yeah. Young and naive. How old were we? 23, 24? Like me. Yeah. Anyway, your programming goes through cycles, but if you want to look at what I do, you can literally download my free ebook. What? Oh my God, how'd I get in there? So yeah, there's actually a football program. That's what they should be doing. I'll send it to Saudi. Fuck me.
Might just download it.
You can literally go on there. All the YouTube things on there, and yeah, it's for football. Fucking hell, not even for football. It doesn't matter. I just put football on it because I can't
believe you said it's for football, Tom. It's for anything. I don't.
I'm a full to my own thing. Anybody, it's just literally for anything you like. It's just more field based things more than anything else. So yeah, golf one pending. I'm the blacklist you, so you don't get that one. So it's fine. I'll give it to Sook, Mike, and Adam are going to get it into their inbox. I'm going to DM them and be like, look, you need to do this. And nothing for Dan. I'm going to be like,
did you see my post about what I found on Grint on my stats?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Interesting, that one, isn't it? But so I went and looked on mine. What do you think mine is the worst thing?
Either green in regulation or fairways off the tee.
Off the tee, driving accuracy. Yeah.
Driving accuracy, yeah.
Driving accuracy. So bearing in mind, I'm about a 6 handicapper. And driving accuracy, 36. Good work, Tom. Good
36.
Work. 36.
Oh my putting was bad.
I am good at saving myself for my short game.
Wow, that is bad. So mine was penalties, which again I guess is, I mean, bunkers is penalties, but I do sort of drop the odd shot here and there. To be fair, which again would improve my scores, but
yeah.
Oh my God, mate, 36. That it needs to be worked on, man. That is, but it's all going to change now because obviously I'm moving clubs, aren't I? So I mean, my if it's all going to go to shit,
it's going to go to shit. Yeah. So it's interesting because obviously my driver was not playing ball for a good 2 years. So I think
I was just pleased that I was a plus handicapper for things like
pretty good.
Tee to green, I'm plus. So driving accuracy +1, approach accuracy +1, greens and regulation +1.
Nice.
So like, if I got everything else down,
whereas you look at my putting is a lot better. It's fine.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. What ones were your strengths? Have you got anything that was a strength?
I think it was putting, and there was a couple of other things. I didn't think it was like par saves or chips or something like that, or to like off the green to like close whatever. And generally, weirdly, because I think that's based off touch and feel more than anything else. I'm okay at that. It's the stuff that I have to replicate over and over again. I'm not good at. So I think I prefer which Dan is good at. So he's good at replicating stuff over and over and over and over and over, which you're far better than I am. I think my mind wanders too much.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Creative,
mate. Creative. I'm the guy that turns up for one good game a year. Dan is the solid 7 to 8 out of 10. You know what he's the manager's. You're the manager's dream. I'm like the enigma, basically. Yeah, which is fine. I'll live with that.
There you go.
So it's fine. That's basically what that sums my sporting career up pretty much. Can pull out a worldie, but yeah, it's probably below average for most of the time.
Can pull out a worldie, doesn't regularly.
Has the ability, but doesn't apply himself most of the time. Oh, yeah, okay. That sounds like Tom. That's every school report.
Same. That was every school report of mine as well.
One wonders what Tom could do if he actually paid attention. Good. All right. Any other business, Daniel?
Not from me, no. All good.
No, not from me. Obviously, if you want free ebooks, don't go download that. It's absolutely fine. I've already sent to my email list and all that kind of shit. Or just DM me. I think there's probably maybe a word that you get through, but I can't remember it. Just DM me something. Yeah, and the golf one will be happening in the next couple of weeks. And then there's another one that's coming out. There's going to be a range of sports that are moving. I may not give them all away for free because I've got to get paid. Got to get paid at some point, don't I? So yeah, I'll probably do a bundle of everything. But that's for future projects then. And also, yeah, if you're interested if you're a PTC person, or if you're just an aspiring personal trainer or an online coach who wants to learn shit about actually doing something in the gym, I believe just me, to be fair, Luke will be there, but not doing anything. I'm going to be running 2 days of complete application of, I wrote it all yesterday. Can't really remember. It was like screening protocols, corrective-based exercises, introduction to like power-based and light power and mobility and all this kind of stuff, learning baseline exercises, mechanical progressions and regressions of a general population, upper, lower, through 12 different categories, and then a bunch of other shit and testing, and a lot of the combine testing that I do as well, all implemented into 2 days into a workshop. We will only be doing 10 to 12 people, and that's it. Yeah. So if you want that, and you've gotten to this part of the show, well done. Yeah, just send me a message and I'll put you on the list. Because I assume we will sell that out. Yeah, as soon as we launch it. Cool. Yeah. Lovely. Cool. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We will catch you next week.
See you later.